Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well. I don't know, I never know what videos are gonna come out. I write down ideas, I think of things that I go through. I think of, I've had people suggest things to me or tell me I should film this or it would be interesting to film something like this, and other times I just think of things off the top of my head. This one has been brought up to me by a lot of people. And it's honestly just as of late. So I'm gonna disclaimer the video by saying this video is more so for a grieving spouse, a widow or a widower, because the topic is kind of specific to a piece of jewelry, if that gives you any idea. And then the other disclaimer is that this is all purely my thoughts and opinions. There's no right or wrong answer. I'm learning more and more through grief, and the more people that I follow, either on social media in real life or whatever, who've been through this or who are going through this, no two grievers are the same, no two widows or widowers are the same, no two people are the same, and nobody's to say that anybody else's way is better or worse or whatever. You have to find the formula that works best for you. That's what my wife told me, that's what my therapist tells me, and that's what I tell myself, is I have to find what works for me, my kids have to find what works best for them, and we do the best we can. So my topic, my point is, people have asked me about this. My wedding ring. And everybody's been very respectful and nice, and I would say it's only internet that has asked me about it, like people at my work or in my friends, and nobody's really brought it up. It's not really a topic. It's not really, I think, anything that anyone really thinks about. And when people, on YouTube were reaching out to me, asking me, I thought, oh, well, I'll make a video about it, because that's I'm sure a topic that everybody maybe thinks about or deals with if they're grieving the loss of their spouse that they were married to. So obviously, I only know adult life with a wedding ring on. I still remember when Jenny and I went to pick out rings. If you guys haven't seen our love story, we were best friends for the longest time, and as soon as Jen was single, I wanted to propose to her like that day. But I always wanted to be respectful and patient of her time and everything. But I knew the moment I met her that I wanted to marry her. And I remember being so proud to propose to her. You see all the movies and you hear all the songs of meeting your best friend and meeting that perfect soulmate, and I thought, I did it. I met that person, and I get to ask that person to marry me. And I remember Flower, and I remember asking her and being so nervous, even though I knew deep in my heart that, of course, she wanted to marry me. We talked about it, but you just get so nervous. And I remember her saying yes, and I remember thinking, all I want in life is to be able to wear a wedding ring to show people around the world that I'm taken and I'm with the love of my life and I'm married to my best friend. And I couldn't wait to have a ring on my finger. I literally could not physically wait. I was so excited. And when we went and picked out rings, she gave me her ideas, but she kept telling me when we were picking out a ring that it's whatever you want, Kyle. And I remember I said, I want a rose gold ring, and I want it to be classic looking and simple and yada, yada, yada. And I remember when she put it on my finger that it's this, you know, for some people it's just a symbol, for some people it doesn't matter, for some people they don't like rings, whatever. I remember thinking, this is truly a joy to me because I get to exclaim to the world that I'm married to my best friend. And I have my beautiful wife and my kids at home, and this is kind of just a little signal. And I was always so proud of it. Still am. Being married to me, marriage is deep for me. You know, my parents didn't have a successful marriage. My dad wasn't involved in my life. And I remember as a little kid, I'm going on a rant, so I don't know if this video is going to make sense, but I remember as a little kid thinking, all I want to do is be married. All I want to do is have a family and have kids and protect that family and raise that family and be with the love of my life and be married and have all the things, because I didn't have that growing up. And so I remember when I met Jen and we fell in love and I got married and we had kids, this was just another like cherry on top of everything. Like, it was more than a ring. It was a symbol of our love and our connection and just everything. And I just always wanted that, you know? I don't know if it's the same for all widows or widowers, but when someone's dying, at least for me, as I watched my wife die, all you want to do is hold their hand, hug them, hold them tight, not let them go. And of course I can picture that day like it was yesterday. We're coming up on a year now. And as I held my wife's hand, for some of her final moments with us, I remember looking at her ring a couple times, not in a superficial way, but just as in a, this is my wife. I remember her picking out her ring, and us exchanging the rings and exchanging our vows like it was yesterday, and it was 10 years ago. And I can still picture her hand, my hand, and her ring. And of course, it's a part of me. It's a part of me. I feel like, honestly, it's a part of my body. And I've told you guys in an earlier video that sometimes I mess around with it and I'll take it off like this and put it on another finger or play with it while I'm filming. It's like a nervous habit, but I don't feel right anytime it's not on my marriage wedding finger. There's no right answer. I know widows and widowers that they stopped wearing their ring right away. I know widows and widowers who still wear their ring after years. I know different people who put their ring on a different finger or wear it around their neck. I don't know the right answer. I don't know when, how, where, why. What I know is right now, almost 11 months after I lost my wife, it feels normal and natural to continue wearing the ring that we picked out together. And I'm gonna wear it as long as it feels natural and normal. I don't feel any pressure myself of taking off the ring. I don't even think anything of it. This didn't even come up in my head until people asked about it. And I thought, why are people asking about it? And I'm sure people have their reasons, motives, ideas. But for me, I'm still married to my wife. And it feels normal, and I like it, and it feels safe. It feels safe. I do notice that when new people come into my life who don't know anything about me or my story, different things will come out of people's mouths. Probably because I'm wearing a wedding ring, right? I got sick recently. You guys saw I had the stomach bug, and somebody asked me, oh, did your wife get it? Just in a quick conversation. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do in those moments. Do you stop everything and tell them what happened? I don't know what to do most of the time, so I just say, no, my wife didn't get sick. I think some of those moments are some of the hardest, when it just comes up naturally. And I realize I don't come out and say it when I meet someone, or I don't come out and say it when I have a group of new students in the classroom. You know, I had a student the other day ask me about my tattoo on my arm, and it felt normal for me to say, this is a tattoo for my wife who's no longer with us. And the kids were in shock. And I realized, wow, I haven't said that this year to the group of kids that I'm teaching now. I have not. It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to express, to say, to admit. I don't know if my brain or me personally just likes to not have to put that worry or burden on people. I notice it's coming out more naturally, like as I converse with parents and different things. I'll say, yeah, you know, my late wife, and I lost my wife, and things like that. But as far as the ring, I'm gonna wear it. And I don't know if that means 50 years, 20 years, whatever, but I'm gonna wear it. It feels good, it feels natural. I love it, and it's a piece of me, and it's a piece of Jen. Yeah, and I felt like if I took it off, I'm saying goodbye. And I'm not ready to do that. I know what my wife said about certain things in my future. I'm aware of it. And I appreciate her for everything she did and set me up for. But I feel really comfortable wearing my ring. So as long as it feels comfortable, I'm gonna keep doing it. That's my answer to people who've asked. I love it. It feels good. It makes me feel good. And I know when you're grieving and when you lost your person, you gotta do the things that make you feel good. Because there's a whole lot of things that make you feel not so good. Every piece of Jen I want to hold on to, every piece of my wife. Forever. And whatever happens in the future, whatever. But my heart belongs to my wife. And I love wearing my ring. And something I told my therapist is sometimes it's kind of nice to still be married, if that makes sense. I know technically in paperwork, I'm not. I had to file taxes and apply for certain things in the last couple months, and I'm not legally anymore. But sometimes it's nice to go to work or go to dinner or go places and I have my wedding ring on. I don't know. I just love having a piece of Jen with me wherever I go. And that ring this guy reminds me of everything. Our wedding day, our proposal, our marriage, our kids, the birth of our kids. It's weird, but I always look down at my ring my whole life. And like I said, I felt so proud. I love it. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels. And I love what it means. So I don't know what that means, but people have asked, so I wanted to say that I feel comfortable wearing it, and that's where I'm at. That's it. And I'll say now that if you are a widow or widower, and you are choosing to not wear your ring, all power to you for whatever decision you're making. I think it's very important for every widow and widower to support each other. Because we're all going through grief, we're all going through confusion, we're all going through stages of grief. We all don't know the answer. We don't. And there is no right answer. You're grieving the loss of your spouse. You're missing so much. You're missing relationship, companionship, a parent, a best friend. You're missing it all. So you have to do whatever gets you through the day. And right now, this gets me through the day. It's one of the things that gets me through the day. This was Jenny's college that she went to right before she got diagnosed. Gets me through the day. Jenny bought this blanket. Gets me through the day. You just gotta do what feels right for you. And I hope and pray that the people around you support you in whatever decision you make. Because that's all someone who's grieving needs, is just support. That's it. We don't need animosity or anger or whatever, just support. Because it's hard and we don't know what we're doing. There's no right answer. And I'm sure there's handbooks on it. I'm sure there's plenty of books on it, but we're just trying to survive. So yeah, I love my ring. It makes me happy. Feels good. And I love my wife a lot. I always will. I always will. Okay. So again, no judgment on anybody's situation. I'm proud of everyone who's grieving or lost someone, widow, widower, brothers, sisters, of anyone, whatever you choose to do, as long as it's from a good mindset and a healthy decision, you do whatever you gotta do. And for me, part of my grieving process and part of my healing is continuing to wear my ring. And yeah. So I don't know if I have any other thoughts on it, but I'm never angered by the questions. I just thought, oh, I never thought of it. I didn't even realize it, that people would think about it. And so I just wanted to make a video about it because I got a lot of questions about it in the comments. So that's my answer for now. We are coming up on a year. Got about a month until Jenny's year. Trying to think of different things to do during that time and that day or that week or whatever. So I'll talk to the kids more about it and we'll see. I know that Ashley wants to get together, and I know my family said they want to get together and kind of do like a celebration, not have it be a down time, but another celebration of life type of time to honor her. And at the last service that I went to, we were discussing resume values, and I don't remember what the other one was called. Resume values and I don't know, basically values you want people to hear about you when you're at your funeral. And it was a very triggering service because they were talking about someone who had just passed from cancer. But it was also inspiring because Jenny never cared about what was on her resume. She did. What she cared about was most important thing to her was about being a good person and spreading love and kindness and strength and beauty and treating her babies like human beings and respecting them and loving animals and loving people more than herself. And when at the service they were talking about, there are people who are worried about their resume values, their money, their wealth, their fame, over what will be shared about them at their funeral. I thought Jenny was the classic. Everybody had such amazing things to say about Jen at her funeral. She was and is such a beautiful person. And, her values, everybody that shared, you guys, a lot of you saw it at her celebration of life, her funeral. What a beautiful soul and person. And people remind me every day in the comments how beautiful my wife was, and I know it, and how much she impacted them, and I know it, and how amazing and strong and kind and what a good soul she had, and I know it. And that's what this ring reminds me of. And so I like it. So for widowers out there who are no longer wearing their ring, I support you. For the widows and widowers out there who are still wearing their ring, I support you. For the widows and widowers out there who are wearing their ring on a different finger or on a necklace or chain, I support you. For widows and widowers who don't know what they're doing, I support you. But people asked, I wanted to answer, but I love my ring, and it is such a beautiful symbol of our marriage. So that's all I have. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. And thank you for all your love and support as always. Bye, guys.